Green hosts Loyola Gold in what is arguably the top matchup in the state. Dylan Ward here alongside Anthony Pasquale. We've got a couple more members of our crew we'll get to in a moment. But Anthony, we just got done talking to both coaches. Starting with Loyola, you know, they're pumped. They've got 14 returning skaters in the lineup and Charlie Trapp in net as well. He'll get the start tonight. First meeting of the season for them against New Trier Green.
Yeah, it's obviously a bit of a different look for both teams. Loyola, like you said, bringing a bunch of players back. New Trier only has 5 returners from last year when, of course, they won state. You can hear a little bit behind us. The Loyola student section is loud and proud, ready to get this one going. But for Loyola, it's about beating a team that they beat last year. In this building, Charlie Trapp got the game-winning save in a shootout. They have some confidence, but they're facing a brand-new, different team. So I'm excited to see what Loyola can bring to the table tonight.
Yeah, Anthony, plenty of experience for players on both sides playing against Loyola or against New Trier, but for a lot of players on New Trier Green, their first time as a Green playing against the Gold team. And, well, they've won 3 straight state championships, but it's not entirely about the players. It's about the coaching staff. Adam Cheris, in his 3rd year coaching New Trier Green, he's got a record against Loyola of 9-3.
Yeah, and it's a team that has a ton of history. They've been there before. They've done it before. I said before the game, you've got Yankees, Red Sox. You've got Michigan, Ohio State, and you've got New Trier, Loyola. It's one of the top rivalries in the state of Illinois, but 17 of the faces on New Trier have yet to experience it. They get to do that tonight in a raucous environment, and honestly, I'm excited that Marquee Sports Network was able to put this one for all of you guys to watch.
Yeah, New Trier, in terms of IHSA conference, they're in the Central Suburban League, Loyola Academy Independent. But as you know, Anthony, and same with college, the conferences really get mixed up when it comes to hockey. So many teams, so many schools don't have a team. So many have combined teams. But here in the Scholastic Hockey League, which is Illinois' premier high school hockey league, these two are right in the same league or conference, however you want to put it. They meet 3 times every single season, and over the last 3 years, at least one, in many cases 2 of those games have gone beyond regulation.
Absolutely. It's because they're so evenly matched, and they come in here with 54 minutes on the clock expecting to play more because they know it's going to take every inch that they have to beat the other team. Like you said, for the majority of the last 3 or 4 seasons, these have been 1-2 in the state, or 1-3 or 2-5, somewhere in the top 5. These teams are consistently some of the best that Illinois has to offer. I expect no different tonight.
Both these teams coming into this one on a 2-game winning streak. New Trier 8-1 over Carmel Catholic. Overtime last night as the Trevians trailed 4-1 with 11 minutes to go, came away with the victory against Glenbrook North. As for Loyola, 5-1 against Stevenson and 3-2 versus St. Ignatius in their last game. New Trier's defense has been on lockdown so far this season. Just 2.5 goals allowed per game, but what really impresses me is the shots total, averaging just 20 shots against per game. They've only had 1 game so far in the regular season with 30 or more allowed.
Which is crazy to think about because they're consistently ahead. And usually when you're winning, the other team tries to pepper you with shots on goal. But that hasn't been the case with New Trier. Their defense has been excellent. And you'll see some of those reasons why in just a couple of moments. But the thing that I'm kind of interested to look at is when you look at New Trier, they just played a game yesterday that went into overtime. Their same goaltender is in net. Is it possible that they're going to be a little bit tired? Probably not with the amount of juice in this arena, but that's something that Loyola could potentially take advantage of tonight.
Juice in the arena, Anthony. You are not kidding. An absolutely packed student section for both sides, parents alike. Loyola students wearing Halloween costumes on Halloween Eve.
Yeah, I got to say, that theme is one of the better ones I've seen for a high school student section, and I think they're going to be loud and proud all game long.
New Trier over on the other side wearing black, and you might notice that the student sections are not behind their team's benches. They're behind the nets they'll be shooting at twice, which I always thought was a nice touch here for these games.
Absolutely. I think that was probably with the years of trial and error, figuring out what worked better. It's similar to basketball where you put them at the opponent basket because that's where they could do the most damage. I'm expecting to see a little bit more of that tonight. And honestly, because of the proximity between these two schools, they're so close together. Anybody can get to this game, and as it starts to fill up, everybody is coming to this game.
We're just a few minutes away from warm-ups here at Centennial Ice Rink in Wilmette on Chicago's North Shore. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned right here to Marquee Sports Network as we've got starting lineups, national anthem, and then, of course, the puck drop right when we come back. Welcome back to Marquee Sports Network. Zamboni is taking its final lap here at Centennial Ice Rink in Wilmette, and we are moments away from New Trier Green versus Loyola Gold for the first time this season. Dylan Ward alongside Anthony Pasquale, Wes Anderson down at the sideline position. We'll be hearing from head coaches and a player from the winning team afterwards. Matt Freeman, our camera operator, Jimmy the Whiz Olson at the helm, assisted by Gerard Boris. And the energy is popping in here without any pucks or players on the ice.
Yeah, that's how you know that it's a marquee matchup. And I'm not even just saying that because we're on Marquee Sports Network. Toot my own horn there. But, I mean, there's not a soul on the ice. The nets aren't in their positions. And this is about as juiced as I've seen an arena in my 3 years with the SHL network. I am so excited for this game to get going. It's got a playoff atmosphere, and we're not even through October yet.
Let's take a look at the starting goaltenders for each side. First, for the visiting Ramblers, it will be Charlie Trapp in net. In his third year, started at Loyola Gold as a freshman, now a junior. A record of 4-1-1 so far in the SHL season. 148 goals allowed average, 945 save percentage, and a shutout. Anthony, he's coming off 33 saves on 35 shots for a save percentage of 942 in his last game against St. Ignatius.
Yeah, I feel like I've said everything there is to say about Charlie Trapp in our 3 years covering the SHL network because he has been one of the best goalies in the state since he got between the pipes his first game. It's a joy to watch him play goalie, and he always seems to bring it up a notch for these big matchups.
On the other side of things, for New Trier Green, it's newcomer Max Reed. He's played in 8 of their 10 SHL games, a record of 6-1-1, goals allowed average of 234, a save percentage of 889, and a shutout of his own. Bit of a tough outing last night against GBN, 13 saves on 17 shots for a sub-800 save percentage, but their team came away with the win.
And you can't say enough about what Maxwell Reed has meant to this team since arriving. He played in AAA before, and he was one of those newcomers that we've talked about. New Trier had 2 of the best goaltenders in the state last year, but both of them moved on. Reed in between net has been huge for New Trier so far this year. Played a lot of action yesterday. Didn't get tested a whole lot. You said 17 shots, but 2 starts in a row is a little bit uncommon, so we'll see if he has the legs for it tonight.
Let's talk about that game for New Trier last night, just 24 hours ago, as the teams have started to make their way onto the ice. And yeah, you don't say. But anyway, New Trier was down 4-1 with 11 minutes left on the road against GBN, who, of course, is a rematch of the SHL final from last year, but Glenbrook North not off to as hot of a start as they were last year. But New Trier in danger of being upset. That did not last long, Anthony, as they came back, tying the game in the final minute, and then scoring in OT to seal the deal and advance the record to 7-2-1.
Yeah, they looked special yesterday in the third period and beyond. And those are the types of things that you look at for a team a lot of times when you go down 3 goals, 4 goals, you can see a team start to waver, but their confidence never left the shoulders of the Trevians. They came all the way back, built some momentum that they didn't even need coming into this game against Loyola. So I'm excited to see if they can stay hot or if maybe last night's game took a little bit out of them.
Any minute now, the Trevians will make their way onto the ice as you see the Ramblers in their gold uniforms, the same ones that they sported last year. This is technically a home game for New Trier, but I would say both these schools are within maybe a 5-minute drive of the rink.
Yeah, I just turned around and I saw the Catholics versus Convicts sign that you guys see on your screen there, and some of the costumes that the Loyola kids have brought out for tonight's contest. Like you said, it's a New Trier quote home game, but Loyola is just down the street as well, and you can see they showed up loud and proud for this contest. And like you said, New Trier still has yet to take the ice. We saw before they'll be wearing their black uniforms. That's why their student section is dressed in all black, potentially going for the Loyola funeral vibe.
Maybe. I'm sure they would hope so. But either way, it's going to be a great game between these two teams who always match up well. In the post-COVID era, New Trier is 11-6 against Loyola Gold. They've only ever met in SHL play, whether that's regular season or playoffs, but not in any other tournament or the state playoffs since the pandemic. New Trier 11-6 in the last 4 seasons, as I mentioned, 9-3 in the last 3 seasons. And in those last 3 seasons, 5 of their 12 meetings went to OT.
Yeah, I mean, 2 very evenly matched teams. By the records, you could say that New Trier has kind of had Loyola's number a little bit, but is there a team in the state of Illinois that New Trier has not had their number? They've just been on such a dominant run, 3 straight state championships. They obviously have pretty much every team's number, but when you come to a rivalry like this, I think New Trier knows Loyola's going to give them their best, just as they receive from every team, and we'll see if they're up for the challenge tonight.
We talked to Coach Adam Cheris. That's a huge part of New Trier's success as the Trevians take the ice wearing their brand new black uniforms for the first time tonight. Wow.
I'm excited to see how those black uniforms do in the annual SHL uniform battle.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think those will get some love. They're pretty sleek.
So the 5-minute warm-up clock can finally begin. And we're almost ready for hockey. Number 2 in the state, New Trier, just trails St. Viator on my hockey rankings. Loyola Gold number 4, with the middle of those two being number 3, Glenbrook South. And this is the second time we've seen New Trier Green on the SHL Game of the Week already. The first time was last Friday, a week ago tomorrow, as they lost to the York Dukes in a shootout. That was a pretty surprising result.
Certainly, but I've come to realize that nothing is surprising when it comes to York. It just seems like they churn out wins that they're, quote, not supposed to have over and over again as the season continues. So especially with new head coach Evan Poulikitis, they're going to be a fun team to watch in the SHL.
13 returners for Loyola Gold last season, 5 returners for New Trier Green. You might remember we saw these two teams match up on Marquee Sports Network last year. That was Loyola coming back to win it in a shootout. Pretty entertaining game, and packed student section. Maybe this one has a few more.
Yeah, they've certainly shown up. I also think it's fun whenever there's a goal scored, because there's so many students here, the teams run to the glass of their student section every single time. So keep an eye on that after goals are scored. There might be some double fists on the glass tonight.
One of 2 home SHL games played at Centennial Ice Rink for New Trier Green. They've got 2 at Winnetka this year and 9 at North Shore Ice Arena. Anthony, they have 6 teams, 4 varsity and 2 JV. They need multiple rinks. In their case, they've got 3 to cycle around, and somehow still the schedule puts New Trier playing 4 games in 5 nights. Yeah,
I was going to say they've got 6 teams, they've got 3 home rinks, but they find a way to make it work, and they've won 3 straight state titles.
Well, we've talked a lot about New Trier so far. Let's send it down to the 3rd member of our crew, Wes Anderson, as he's standing by with head coach of the Ramblers, Scott Serralo. Go ahead, Wes.
Thanks, guys. Coach Max Kading, Patrick Dine, and Jack Waiskowski all have a point per game in the last 3. What's been working so well on the offensive side of things?
They've been moving the puck well. It's pretty simple. It just Max moves the puck really well. Dine's really skilled defenseman, and Jack is one of the most skilled players in the league right now.
You talked about your depth earlier when we met before the game. In goal, Charlie Trapp, under 2 goals against, average .945 save percentage. What have you liked about his game in the early season?
He's just been, he's got a calmness to his game. He's big, and sometimes he gets a little over aggressive, but not so far this season. He's just been calm and playing big, and we're really proud of him.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Wes. That is the great Wes Anderson on the mic. Dylan Ward here alongside Anthony Pasquale. Matt Freeman, our camera operator, and our technical engineer is Jimmy the Wiz Olson, assisted by Gerard Boris. 2 minutes left in the warm-up, and these two teams, if they haven't been ready all week for this game and this moment, they're getting closer and closer to that.
Yeah, I mean, we heard head coach Adam Cheris tell us that New Trier, some of their players shaved their heads earlier in the week to prepare to take on Loyola. We heard from head coach Scott Sorallo that they know that this game is circled on the calendar, so why wouldn't they put an extra, X on the calendar to get ready for this contest? These are two teams that want to beat the opponent as bad as anything, and in a minute and a half, they're going to get the chance to do so.
.120 to go in the warm-up. Anthony, you were on the call for the first game we had as part of this Marquee Sports Network Community Showcase. It was between New Trier, but not New Trier Green, New Trier Blue, and Chicago North. A pretty entertaining game that resulted in the teams splitting the fun 3-3, a tie final score.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. I think Marquee Sports Network has done a great job. If you're a Blackhawks fan, you grew up hearing Eddie Olczyk say, for all you young hockey players out there, Well, Marquee Sports Network has dove so much into the youth hockey that now all those young hockey players out there are on TV. It's a sensational thing. Kudos to them for putting all of this work and effort into youth hockey in the state of Illinois, and you've got two of the best on your plate tonight, so buckle up.
LAG, the chant to our right. Amongst the student section, all wearing Halloween costumes. Wes Anderson, you're down there at the sideline level. What's kind of the atmosphere between the two benches here in this warm-up?
It's a nervous but confident energy from both sides. You see New Trier Green out in these brand new black uniforms. As I was on the Loyola Gold bench, one of the players that's not playing tonight had a comment. It looks like the old-fashioned University of North Dakota Nodak jerseys that they've got going on tonight. So definitely some spiffy unis that the Trevians have pulled out here tonight.
They seem to surprise us every year with a new alternate jersey, and this one is very nice. The buzzer has sounded on warm-ups. The teams wait at their nets to gather pucks, and we're just moments away from our PA announcer Sam Schwartz introducing the starting 6 on each side once the players get back to their bench.
Wes, you're down there. Let me ask you, are the chants as loud to you as they are to us over here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell, but we are at almost a capacity crowd. I see maybe 10 or 20 open spots down here on the Loyola side, and it's completely filled on the New Trier side. So pretty impressive here for a Thursday night. We know both teams have school tomorrow, but this place is buzzing and alive.
School tomorrow? What?
Not only a Thursday night, an 8:48 p.m. school night, and the game hasn't started yet. Yeah. But hey, at least it's Friday tomorrow.
Yeah, Dylan, I was going to say kickoff tonight might be closer to 9 o'clock, so I don't know if these kids are going to get to bed before midnight tonight.
Maybe there's a late start tomorrow. Who knows? Yeah, they weren't kidding. New Trier, all of them shaved heads.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. We've seen Lake Forest do the same thing. I know Glenbrook South gets their mullets with 3 stripes on each side before the big North-South game. And with that, the time has come to turn it over to our PA announcer, Sam Schwartz. Enjoy the starting lineups and anthem, everybody.
Jeff Kokocha. The lines people are Asher Ali and Jackson Wilkin. The official scorer is Sam Schwartz. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise if you are able and willing and remove headwear if wearing to honor our country and those who serve in recognition of our national anthem.
Wow. Unreal vibes here from Centennial Ice Rink, and Sam Schwartz always does a great job of introducing the starting lineups, both teams, and the national anthem. It's not played before every high school hockey game, but when it is, it just has that extra special feeling to it.
It certainly does. And Dylan, thank goodness you're wearing a microphone, because I don't know if I could even hear you standing right next to you. That's how loud it is here.
So the teams will make their way into their starting positions. Max Reed occupying the net to our right. Trevians in black will shoot from right to left on your screen. And Charlie Trapp will make his way to the net to our left. And Loyola wearing gold, they'll go from left to right. 17 minutes on the clock. If you're new to high school hockey, welcome. First and second periods are separated by a brief timeout. While there will be a full Zamboni intermission between the second and third, there will be a winner of this game. No ties in the SHL. Different from our earlier game played at Allstate Arena. We'll go to overtime and a shootout as necessary. And it's just about that time, boys. Dylan Ward, Anthony Pasquale, and Wes Anderson, happy to have you hanging out with us on this Thursday evening on Marquee Sports Network.
It's going to be big for Loyola to start strong here in the first period. This is technically a road game for them, but anytime you're going up against New Trier and a team that has that much offensive prowess, striking first makes it so important.
The time has come for hockey. The face-off will be taken at center ice. Connor McCauley for the Ramblers and Connor Herstrit for the Trevians. It's pulled back by New Trier, and we are underway as it's battled for in the neutral zone. Brought over the line just for a moment by Connor Herstrit. Now he gets it down low. Here's a backhand shot. That one stopped by Trapp. Now Nagitz has it. High slot. Cuts down to the right circle. Around a couple bodies for Loyola. Hitting to the corner boards, far side. And now covered up by Trapp for a whistle just 26 seconds in.
Yeah, already two saves had to have been made by Charlie Trapp, but one thing to keep an eye on, in New Trier's losses this season, they have been out-physicaled. It's something that if Loyola wants to beat New Trier, they're going to have to win the battle in terms of physicality, and it looks already like they're trying to get some checks going early.
Connor Herstrit, Jack Herstrit, not Connor. It was also Jack that took the face-off. But Jack Herstrit wearing a new jersey number, normally number 13, but today number 69.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a change for the rest of the season, or maybe just forgot a jersey for one day, or maybe with the new black ones they didn't make a 13 and they only have a 69. We'll see. But for tonight, 69 in black is Herstrit.
69 in black will take the face-off at the left circle. Attacking zone for New Trier. He wins it up to Nagats, who fires a shot off the blocker of Trapp. Loyola will clear it out to neutral ice. Picked up by Nagats as he slides it over to his teammate Yang. Didn't get to him as it hit a Loyola stick. Now here's a shot from the left point. That one by Patrick Dine, and it never hit the net for Max Reed. Now Isaac Solomon will slap this one in. Picked up by Dine below the goal line. He'll get it to Henry Hoffman. Number 10 out there for Loyola. Henry Hoffman is the lowest jersey number they have this season, so no single digits for the Ramblers. Far side corner. Jack Wolben, who scored the OT winner last night for the Trevians against Glenbrook North. Also had an assist in that game. He's got the puck again. Wolben goes up high. Here's a shot from up high off the stick of Soren Selak. That one stopped by Trapp.
And guys, you talked about it earlier in the pregame. This Trevians team played last night against Glenbrook North. We thought that their legs might be a tad bit heavy just given the recency of their last game, but so far, so good in this game. Over a minute and a half in, already 6 shots on net.
Just getting started here at Centennial Ice Rink in Wilmette, Illinois. 0-0 game, just a minute and a half in between arguably the biggest rivalry in the state. I think the big debate is it New Trier Loyola or Glenbrook North, Glenbrook South?
They both put on some shows for us year after year to keep that debate interesting.
We'll see these two teams again later on the SHL network. Here's Lochnicki off a turnover, takes a shot. Reed makes the save, and then it's gotten out of harm's way as Soren Selleck plays it off the near boards out to neutral ice. Fontana, but it hit his skate, and it's dumped back in by the Ramblers.
Loyola's speed is on display early. They are laying some massive hits, just throwing their body all over.
Another turnover. Chris Gall fires a shot, sizzles wide of the cage. Peter Lochnicki to it now. 3-year varsity member for Loyola Gold. As this one sprung ahead, chasing after the puck is Fontana. He won't win the race to the boards as he's knocked down, drawing some applause from the Rambler fans.
Lochnicki's definitely somebody to keep your eye on if you're a Rambler fan. A D-man turned into a forward and one of their highest point scorers in the last couple of years.
So far, 2 goals, 2 assists in 7 games played for Lochnicki. Here's another turnover and a wraparound try. That one wouldn't go off the stick of Jenner Layden. Now back, one man blows a tire. Loyola might have turned that into a 3-on-1, but they do not. And the other way comes New Trier Green. It's Jenner Layden taking a shot. That one blocked by Anthony Donato. Now battle for the puck, near side corner. Thrown to the far side half boards. Ramblers struggle to get it out. And now they will exit the zone as it's punched ahead. But first to the puck for New Trier is Jack Andrus. Now Alex Rowian trying to get it outside the blue line. Forced to come back is Andrus as he plays it over to the far side for J.P. Wilson. But meanwhile, big hit down below the goal line by the Ramblers against New Trier.
Yeah, I think that's part of the game plan for Loyola. They're trying to be physical, and these hits keep coming.
Another collision. And the Ramblers faithful love it. This one sent into the zone from neutral ice. Picking it up is Andrus below the goal line. He takes a hit again. End of a long shift for Jack Andrus, number 52 out there for New Trier.
Lou Joubert already with 3 hits in that corner.
Luke Joubert coming from the Chicago Reapers, first year playing Loyola hockey in general. And he makes the gold squad. And that might be a reason why.
Yeah, I think he just had another one while you were mentioning his name. So Joubert, I believe 4 hits early.
Andrus was going to the bench for a change. The puck went right to him. Now he'll finally get off as it's sent down, picked up by Patrick Dine of Loyola. Out to neutral ice, missed the stick of Pierce Staverman, and Nolan Nagats regroups. Sent into the zone by Charlie Cannon. Picked up below the line by Loyola as Mikey Smiley sends it out to the neutral zone. We've seen a couple minor mistakes made by both these teams. I think there's definitely a feeling out process. It's an SHL regular season game for 2 points, but everyone in the rink knows it is not just that.
Absolutely. I mean, you've seen Loyola. Their speed has been on display earlier, and they've been trying to turn that into some big hits. But for New Trier, we know they play a smothering style of hockey. They make it very difficult to exit your own zone defensively and to enter their zone when you're on offense. We've also seen that early, and if Loyola's even a little bit sloppy, New Trier is going to take advantage.
20 shots allowed per game for New Trier. That's lowest in the SHL. Shots on goal now, 4-1 in favor of the Trevians.
Not surprising with the way they play.
Below the line, it's Jack Wolben. Right side. Now sent down low once again for Herstrick. Centered it, Wolben. Back for Jack Herstrick. Below the line, tipped in the slot. No player wearing green and black there to get a chance at it. This one thrown from a tough angle. Looking for a fortuitous bounce. They didn't find it.
Good effort from Cabal to get that out of harm's way.
Now Naggett slides it over. Oh, Yang right side. Goes down below the goal line in close. Here's a chance by Wolben, and the save is made by Trapp.
Had a lot of space there. It almost felt like a power play with the amount of space he was able to create.
Under 11 minutes to go, a Michigan attempt. Didn't work out for Jack Wolben. He goes to the far side half boards. Now down below the line again for Solomon. Up to Herstrick. Down below the line again. Jack Wolben pinned up against the boards by Mikey Smiley. Loose puck is free. Loyola can't quite clear it out. Now Chris Gall will send this one down. The laid offside forces Peter Lochnicki to tag up, and New Trier regains it. Give away and neutral ice. Nick Pereno over the line, takes a hit from Nagget's near side. Puck off the glass, and Nagget's will find it and able to clear it out to neutral. Nick Thomas over to the near side. Nick Pereno. Now Lochnicki sends it in. First to grab it for New Trier was Soren Selleck. Nagget's. Now Fontana clears the zone. Luke Radel comes across. He's forced to dump that one in. Picked up by Nagget's. One of their 5 returning players this season. Keegan Rowean, another one, chases after the puck, but first to it, it's going to be Nick Thomas. Thrown up high. Taken away by Loyola, high slot. Playing it off the near boards, Nick Pereno and down. It will be an icing. Here in high school hockey, though, of course, Loyola does get to change after an icing. Not the same rules as in juniors or the NHL. So sometimes teams use that as a strategy.
Without a doubt. One thing you're seeing from New Trier offensively, they are not hesitant to get their D-men involved offensively. They pinch in, they get to the slot, they create shots, especially Nolan Nagget's and, of course, Kai-U Yang. Very involved offensively, and Loyola hasn't been able to take advantage of numbers the other way because of how fast New Trier closes those passing lanes.
Dylan Ward alongside Anthony Pasquale here in the booth. Wes Anderson rinkside. Here for this big-time rivalry in the state of Illinois. That puck hits the netting, goes out of play right into the New Trier student section, and that will probably end up being a souvenir.
Yeah, you're not getting that one back.
Actually, he just did throw it back.
Like a visiting team home run in the Wrigley bleachers.
You can see Coach Adam Cheris getting some kind of explanation from the referee. Not exactly sure what that's about. We haven't had any penalties in this game. It's been the opposite of a busy night for Sam Schwartz down there.
He was very busy pregame,
yes.
So maybe he'll enjoy the quick break to start this one.
Mikey Smiley. Taken away by Layden. Now Smiley gets it back. Pardon me, that's Connor McCauley. First underclassman to wear a letter since Ryan Cowan. Number 24 out there. Had an older brother that played for Glenbrook South a few years ago, Marty McCauley, as this one deflects on its way to the net and just misses the crossbar. But high school hockey, you don't see very often two brothers playing on different teams. But
I was going to say
the
McCauley name seemed familiar. I remember Marty at Glenbrook South. Connor doing his thing here at Loyola.
Now from the right point, this one blocked by Knight, getting in the way of that. Off the board, settled down by George Knight. Nice pass finds Moreno. Chase Moreno throws it to the blue paint. Nobody there to get a shot off. Big hit into the far side corner. As another man gets taken down below the goal line. Then some afterwards, some extra by Max Kading.
What a shift from Kading. Super physical, really rejuvenating Loyola.
Cleared down. No icing as it took a deflection. And it's picked up by Chase Moreno. Off the near side boards and out to neutral ice, where Anthony Donato will fire it back in. Bounces in on Reed, and an early whistle as the official thought he had that one covered, but he did not. And now, getting in the face of Pierce Daverman were 3 Trevians after the whistle.
Yeah,
Oh, guys, sorry about that, Anthony. But, guys, yeah, only the second recorded shot on goal there for the Ramblers through the first 10 minutes. We highlighted Blazkowski, Dine, and Kading pregame. All 3 averaging over a point per game in their last 3 games. And so far, Ramblers have been stymied here on offense.
it almost seems like their game plan to be physical has almost trumped any offense that they've tried to get going. And obviously you want to set the tone here in the rivalry, but at some point you're going to have to put pucks in the net.
This one's iced down off that face-off. It'll be another O-zone face-off for the Ramblers.
And Anthony, you make a good point, as I don't know if you can hear Max Reed banging on the glass right in front of me. One of those is the opposing team, even though proximity to both these schools is so close. The opposing team, you got to come in this building and kind of take out the home team crowd. And it seems like the Ramblers have been trying to do that through physicality, and in doing so, they haven't really been able to break the puck out of their zone as efficiently as they want to. So let's see if that changes here in the last 7 minutes of this first period.
You can see the officials forcing some Ramblers players to go back to the bench. That's because with New Trier being the home team, they get the last change. So the Ramblers must put out their skaters after every whistle first, followed by New Trier, who gets the counter.
And especially, we talked to Coach Cheris before the game of how a lot of times, because they've won 3 straight state championships with New Trier, they don't face a lot of third and fourth lines. And if you see New Trier's #1 line out, you're going to try to match that with yours.
Here's a quick shot off the draw and another whistle. We've gone through about 4 seconds of hockey in the last 2 minutes of real time.
Yeah, I was going to say, after the beginning of the game felt pretty continuous. We had to flow back and forth. Might have been some sloppy play, but not a lot of whistles. That flipped.
Puck falls. Loyola wins this face-off. Donato from up high. Deflected down into the far side corner. Now Kading. Chasing it outside of the zone is Donato, who dumps it in. Loyola credited with 2 shots at this point. In their last 2 games, they outshot Ignatius 38-35, and then Stevenson 54-17. Here's a shot on goal by New Trier. That one stopped by Charlie Trapp. Trapp in that game against St. Ignatius, outstanding. 33 saves on 35 shots, good for a save percentage of .942 for the now junior, if you can believe it. Off of the New Trier skate. Sent into the zone, Donato off the check from Nagitz near side. And now Isaac Solomon gets it back for New Trier. Solomon trying to go 1-on-4. Knocked off the puck. Loyola can't clear it out as Jack Herstrit works with it. Herstrit tried to go down to the right circle, but here comes Loyola the other way. Marking this one in is Henry Tucker. And then he knocks a man over. Another big hit down below the goal line, and New Trier will come away. 2-on-2 rush as Charlie Cannon comes over the line. Lost an edge. Staying on side, though, as Jack Andrus brings it deep. Now he's knocked away from the puck. 5.5 to go first period. 0-0 game. And a big hit there as Charlie Cannon runs over Donato. Pardon me, that was actually Nick Thomas. Hit after hit to begin this first period as this centering pass just out of the wheelhouse of Charlie Cannon. Now up high, bounces off the End board glass thrown to the slot. No Trevian there to get a shot away, and it's poked ahead by the Ramblers. Jack Blazejowski with a shot, and no save necessary for Max Reed as he misses the cage.
Had Jobert with him as well. Either one of them could have had a good look, but you got to put that puck on net, especially when you haven't had many shots on goal.
Max Reed's first time facing the Loyola Ramblers at any capacity. Came from AAA, joined New Trier Green. I'll tell you what, those AAA games might have a touch more skill than high school hockey, but certainly not any kind of atmospheres like this.
Absolutely not. This is special.
Connor McCauley now to Luke Jobert, also coming from AAA. Chicago Reapers gets it up to Lochnicki as he tried to just touch that one over Max Reed and into the net. Didn't work out.
Loyola finally has grabbed some momentum on the offensive end. We'll see if they can turn that into some chances, but at the very least, they've been able to possess the puck.
Keegan Rowan collides with a man.
Oh, no.
And he is injured on the play. He has not gotten up. No whistle yet. And now finally, not yet. Here's a shot on goal, save. Rebound, another save made by Charlie Trapp with the glove. And finally, play stops. I think the officials were letting it go because New Trier had an offensive chance.
Yeah, they certainly had a scoring chance, but I believe down on the ice currently, after that collision just inside the New Trier offensive zone, immediately grabbed his left knee. That's all we can see from here.
The trainers come out for New Trier Green as we get down to 3:36 to go in the first. Wes, what did that collision look like from ice level?
Yeah, just a lot of physicality here in the first 12, or I should say 14 minutes of this first period, guys. One of those where down at ice level, it seems like the refs are really letting them play here. There's
Certainly.
a few that you could say either way could be penalties, and honestly, that's kind of the result that you see now with the Trevian player down, that the refs are just letting things go. Hopefully that they tighten things up as this game continues, but we'll see how that progresses.
I was going to say, after an injury like that, would you suspect that the referees try to, tighten up and maybe call some penalties that they may not have prior, just so that they can clean up the game a little bit?
It's one of those that kind of differs from different ref groups there, right? And it's something that you can see Adam Cheris is talking to the linesman as he's helping the Trevian player back to the bench. That's one of those where that hit that you see, I know we're not going to get a replay. Typically that would be called a trip, or you could even go with the knee, but either way, we're going to play 5-on-5 here.
Keegan Rowan, the injured party, will make his way back to the bench and stay on the bench for now. One of their 5 returning players on the roster, 9 games so far this SHL season, 4 goals, 3 assists, with 3 of those 4 goals coming on the man advantage for number 87.
We'll keep you posted if we see him back on the ice.
Don't be confused with his brother Alex Rowan, also on the roster. Keegan is the one that we will look out for. All the meanwhile back underway, as Wes said, 5-on-5. Below the goal line, they battle for it. Coming away, turning around and firing one was Layden.
I don't know how Trapp saw it, but he made the save.
And now Rambler shoved off the puck. Jenner Layden has another look. He throws it to the slot. And now up high, Selleck fires. And they score! That one squeaked through, and New Trier breaks the ice.
A great first goal here from New Trier. Actually, some phenomenal vision there to get it to the back door. Looks like it was Alexander Rowan that comes away with the goal, which is spectacular considering his brother just went down with an injury. And you see that celebration right up against the glass, just as we suspected.
Not sure if we have the net cam of that one. I believe it goes off the skate. But either way, 1-0 New Trier. And a great start for them here in this one. Now out shooting the Ramblers 8-3, and finally rewarded with their first of 8. past Charlie Trapp.
Pretty deep into this one to score the first goal. I know Loyola really wanted to get that first one across, but now they have to play from behind.
And guys, it just seemed like the Ramblers, could never really control that puck. Just relentless pressure there by the Trevians leads to that opening goal.
2:36 to go in the first period. They do officially credit the goal to Jenner Layden. Still haven't gotten a look at that goalie cam replay yet. But we will as soon as we are able to, hopefully. Mikey Smiley sends Connor McCauley on a breakaway, but he's offside, and he was. After the whistle, long after the whistle, Nolan Nagitz hits him from behind. And Connor McCauley makes his case to the referee.
And about 300 screaming Ramblers down here to the right of me making their case as well.
No penalty called on the play.
Wes, you had a really good angle of that. Did it look more embellished, or did it look like a foul to you?
It looked like that could have been tripping. I mean, we've said it before. The refs were letting him play, but Joe Bear and Wolburn there were mask to mask, and they definitely weren't making dinner plans for after tonight's game, if you know what I mean.
Joe Bear has been involved physically all period long, just throwing his body from coast to coast.
Joe Bear scored a goal in the Ramblers' last game, his first goal after just 1 assist in his first 7 games this season. As we get back underway far side. Most of this game has been to our left so far. But a couple of odd man rushes for Loyola. Has them with some pretty decent scoring opportunities so far. Still a lot of game left here in Wilmette.
The 2-on-1 that Blazejowski had was certainly their best look.
Jack Wolben cutting across, gets a backhand shot on Trapp and forces a save.
Numbers for Loyola.
And Connor McCauley leads the rush. Over the line, right wing side, fires a shot, and a clean glove save made by Max Reed.
I like that idea there from McCauley, just to put a puck on net. Face Reed to make a save. If you get a rebound, great. If it squeaks past him, great. Loyola needs to do a little bit more of that to just get the offense in rhythm a little bit. They haven't had too many long scoring chances on this side of the ice.
First faceoff, I think, on this near side circle right in front of the Rambler student section.
If not, it feels like it.
Yeah. So we get down to less than 100 seconds to go before the first intermission. 1-0 New Trier. The goal officially credited to Jenner Layden and an assist to George Knight. Layden's 6th goal of the year. He's been on fire to start the season for New Trier Green. Here's a turnaround shot on Trapp. That one stopped and covered up on the follow-up.
And with that assist, Knight becomes the 3rd Trevian player to 10 points on the year and even 5 goals, 5 assists.
Just trailing Jack Herstrit with 5 goals, 11 assists for 16, and Nolan Nagitz with 3 and 7.
Layden now takes the lead in Trevian goals with 6.
What an addition he's been to this New Trier Green.
You could go top to bottom, 17 new faces. So many of them, we could say by the end of the year, were phenomenal newcomers for this team just because of how successful they've been. But I don't think you could circle anybody more impactful than Layden and the guy between the pipes, Max Reed.
Since New Trier's back-to-back losses to the Lake Forest Scouts earlier this season, undefeated in regulation with 5 wins and 1 loss in a shootout, a goal differential of 31-12 in that span. Still not the #1 ranked team in the state as of yet. As here comes Pierce Daverman with 1 man on his tail. Now thrown to the near side. Daverman fires again, and Max Reed makes the save.
That's all you want to see from Reed.
Another one there.
Just continue to put shots on net. He's going to make a lot of these saves, similar to Charlie Trapp on the other end, but you're not going to be able to score unless you test him. And finally, Loyola's starting to do that.
Officially, the shot's 11-5 New Trier. As Loyola just got a couple quick ones, and they'll take another ozone face-off right circle. Max Kading ready for the draw against Jack Herstrit. Puck is sent to the near side half boards, and Wolben is able to clear it. It rolls on edge down, and will not go far enough for an icing. Anthony Donato forced to play it. Donato out to the neutral zone, tipped ahead, and now Max Kading is offside, and that shot on goal should draw an immediate whistle, but doesn't. Another big hit by Max Kading on Nolan Nagitz.
You just have to keep your eyes peeled behind the play, or else you'll miss some of these spectacular hits.
Now here's a shot. That one took a couple of crazy hops off the stick of Isaac Solomon. Jack Wolben between him and the net. 6 seconds left as this one's cleared all the way down. Will it go far enough for one more face-off? Yes, it does, with 0.9 on the clock.
Yeah, I think Loyola was trying to get to the end of the period there. Instead, with 0.9 seconds, or now they corrected it to 1.2 seconds left on the clock. Going to have a quick draw. New Trier, if they win it, is just going to try to snap one on net. Otherwise, that'll be the end of the first period.
Yeah, guys, and Reed comes out of the net. Quick 6-on-5 here for the Trevians, as you mentioned, with just that 1.2 seconds left in the period.
Yeah, the puck would take longer than 1.2 to travel the rest of the ice. Coach Cheris knows that. New Trier is going to try to take advantage with one last scoring opportunity.
Isaac Solomon will be the face-off taker against Max Kading. Puck falls, Solomon tries a shot, doesn't work out as the buzzer sounds on period number 1. So 17 minutes in the books. New Trier leads 1-0 with shots on goal being 11-5 in favor of the Trevians. Jenner Layden with the only tally, assisted by George Knight. We'll take a timeout. Don't go anywhere. Second period coming right up. Welcome back to Marquee Sports Network, just in time for period number 2 here at Centennial Ice Rink, part of the high school community showcase presented by the Chicago Wolves. Dylan Ward alongside Anthony Pasquale and Wes Anderson on the call. Matt Freeman, our camera operator. Jimmy the Wiz Olsen, assisted by Gerard Boris, our 2 technical engineers.
What a fun first period it was. We had a brief portion of time where it felt like both teams were kind of feeling themselves out, and then the rest of it was just an extremely physical, up-tempo brand of hockey, and I anticipate more of the same as we get cracking here in period 2.
With nothing in the net for Loyola in the first period, they have now only scored 2 first period goals in their last 8 games, including this one. Connor McCauley, as we have switched sides. Loyola in gold, going from right to left on your screen. New Trier in black, going from left to right. And if your net got stuck looking to the left, we'll see if it gets stuck looking the other way here for the second period, as New Trier was the dominant team in the initial 17 minutes.
Yeah, just try to even it out a little bit, looking the other way, as we've got a little extracurriculars after the whistle there. Looks like Herstrid involved.
Still no penalties have been called in the game. Some plays that may have warranted one, though.
It looks like Keegan Rowing is back on the ice for New Trier.
It's an absolutely great thing to see. He went down with a tough-looking injury in that first period.
Good to see him back out there. Hockey players at any level are just so tough.
These are kids, and they're tough like that.
Exactly.
Face-off won by Loyola. They'll play it off the far boards and out to neutral ice, as it's backhanded back in by New Trier. Keegan Rowe and the man in question. Now this is Patrick Dine, and actually Max Kading the one to lift it out. A high ceiling here at Centennial Ice Rink.
Just about to point that out as well after seeing that puck nearly scrape the ceiling.
Nagitz misses a hit there. He goes crashing into the boards, occupying the Loyola bench. Now Keegan Rowe.
Good stick from Smiley.
Lifted high in the air, glove down by Kai Oyang. Fires a shot into the glove of Charlie Trapp. He will hold on again.
Yeah, Charlie Trapp is going to get an extra bolt of energy just being right next to this student section, especially if he continues to be tested. Making a couple of saves will almost flip momentum in Loyola's favor just because of this crowd.
We actually didn't catch it in real time, Anthony, but New Trier on that offensive zone faceoff with 1.2 did pull their goalie and had 6 attackers out there. I don't hate that move one bit.
Not at all.
There's no way they're going to score. As this one's cleared out by the Ramblers. Julian Gabal, now in his 4th year as a member of Loyola Gold, began as a freshman, now a senior. Where's the captain C?
Loyola having a really hard time exiting the zone.
As that shot, not a lot of mustard on it, but enough to force Trapp to make a save. Here's another shot, deflected wide. Alex Rowe. Puck taken away by Loyola. They can't clear it out. Here's a big slap shot off the stick of J.P. Wilson. And Trapp makes the save again.
And guys, Trevian's really taking advantage of the long change here. We mentioned how they dominated that first period in terms of shots, 11-5, and already through what, over 2 minutes of play, already 4 shots on goal, so already testing Trapp here early in the second period.
Offensive zone faceoff for the Trevians, right circle, 50-50 puck tied up in the linesman's skate, finally comes free. And it'll be grabbed by Luke Radel. Now it's Anthony Donato to the far side and backhanded out by Nick Pereno. Up with the puck is Radel. He fires a shot on Reed. No rebound given as it's covered right up.
Yeah, Wes brings up a good point with this period of the long change. New Trier, the longer they're able to keep the puck in their offensive zone, the harder it is for Loyola to make any changes. And as they continue to pepper Charlie Trapp in between the net, it's a good recipe for the Trevians.
Slap shot from the right point. That one wouldn't go. Got blocked on its way to Max Reed. Now regained by New Trier. They'll play it off the near side boards and down. Not quite over the blue line as they're forced to retreat. Charlie Cannon. Now it's Aristotle Poulios, or known as Aris. Takes a shot that deflects up and into the netting. And you know, we've had some great names in the SHL over the years. That is a great name, Aristotle Poulios.
Yeah, I think it's right up there with Pepe Laboy III for my 2 favorites in the 3 years that I've been here with the SHL. That Aristotle, you can't get much better than that.
And Anthony, it's Pepe Laboy III. Don't forget about that last little piece there, but I have to agree, yeah, that's one of the better names here in the Scholastic Hockey League.
Seems like a focal point for this offense for New Trier is to put some traffic in front of Trapp now, make it tougher for him to make these saves. as they try to build their lead.
15 shots against Charlie Trapp. He's made 14 saves. And the one goal by New Trier is sort of fluky. Just a shot from Jenner Layden from the left circle that we thought may have hit another body for New Trier, but must have gone off the leg of a defenseman.
Kind of a tic-tac-toe on its way to the net.
New Trier rushes up ice, left to right. It's Herstrit just onside, fires a shot. That one stopped. Jack Herstrit, red hot as of late. 5 goals in his last 6 games. Only twice this season in 10 games for New Trier. He's been held without a point. He's one of their 5 returners. His brother, Connor Herstrit, was on this New Trier green side last year, part of that state championship run to the United Center. And this year they're hoping to four-peat, something that hasn't been done in a long time in high school hockey. This year it'll be at Allstate Arena, home of the Chicago Wolves, right here on Marquee Sports Network. March the 6th, I believe. Backhanded out by New Trier. And firing it back in is Nick Thomas.
I feel like a majority of the first 5 minutes of this period have been played in the neutral zone. Both teams.
Now one man breaks another's ankles. Julian Gabal.
Held that.
Dane Lohmeyer for the Trevians.
Held that thought for a second, but both teams struggling to really generate any sustained offense in the second period thus far.
Off the near glass and down. Out to neutral ice. Backhanded to the far side. And this is Pierce Daverman with a shot on Reed. He will hold on. 12:10 to go in the second period.
And Wes, you can comment on this as well as the inherent goalie expert, but when you look at Reed, one thing that he's been excellent at so far tonight in the limited times he's been tested was rebound control. And you can kind of touch on why that's so important.
Yeah, it just limits the second chance opportunities the Ramblers can get. And Anthony, that's a great pickup. Earlier, their first real test of the night, the Ramblers tried to test him high, and he didn't flinch, didn't go down early. He was able to just sneer that on a glove on a 2-on-1. That's so key as well. And not only does it eliminate those second chance opportunities, it helps out your defense, and it allows them to get a little bit more of a rest than they would if they're having to chase down pucks coming off your pads.
Guys in between those two whistles. As this one centered, here's a shot from in close off the stick of George Knight, and that one stopped by Trapp. But in between whistles, Keegan Rowian did leave the game. He went to the locker room after that injury. Now crashing into the net. Loyola wants it to count, but it's waved off. Net was off its moorings. These students to our right have no idea.
Yeah, and also that you can't push the goalie with the puck into the net, and I think that's the right call. You can see right away the ref signaled no goal, and then you can look at Max Reed as well, that wasn't going to count.
Yeah, the puck and Lochnicki crossed the goal line at the same time, but as Wes is saying, which is correct, as soon as the player makes contact with the goalie and starts to push the momentum back into the crease, that goal is not going to count. The official behind the net had the call correct right away, immediately waved it off. Unfortunately for Loyola, the celebration is going to be muted and potentially delayed, but I think the refs and Wes got that right.
So now Jack Herstrit will grab an object that has been thrown onto the ice, and is that an octopus, boys?
Yeah, it is, and there's some symbolism behind that is back in the olden days in the NHL, it took 8 wins to win the Stanley Cup, so something that you would see a lot in Detroit is before playoff games, they throw an octopus on the ice to symbolize that.
Well, Wes, we've seen a lot worse at this rink.
I will say, too, with Keenan Rowian heading off the ice, he came on the ice, looked like he tested it. Whatever he tested, didn't feel it, and he's going to the locker room. We'll keep an eye on if he returns back to the bench, but all eyes now on the Loyola offensive side as they have a little bit of momentum. Had a goal waved off, however, see if they can keep putting some shots on Reed, and if one of them crosses that end line.
You heard from our PA announcer, Sam Schwartz, that if objects are thrown on the ice, per the referee's discretion, that could cost a minor penalty for delay of game. So the fans have to watch out. Obviously, in certain situations, especially in a game that's been called as loosely as this one, no penalties yet, I don't think that one is going to be called.
Is an octopus technically an object?
That's a whole nother debate. As this one sent into the zone. Left wing side. 11 to go in the second period. Just one goal in the game. It was in the first period. As Loyola's trying to respond. Can't get around one defender, and it comes to the near side.
Yeah, that was Gall trying to make the move, but New Trier's stout defense said no.
Out to neutral ice. Grab by Donato. Comes to the near side for Peter Lochnicki. Veteran of this team. Centers it for another veteran, Julian Gabal. Battle for near side corner. And now behind the net, a big hit by New Trier. That ignites the student section, as that was close to too many men. Very easily could have been called, but was not. Meanwhile, 2-on-1. Here's a shot from the left side. And it missed Trapp's net. He covers up the rebound, and now we've got a big scrum.
A couple of Loyola players have lost their helmets. Looks like Mikey Smiley, one of the main involved. Anthony Donato as well. Wears that letter on his chest. He wasn't going to let anything happen. But it looks like New Trier is also going to have a player ushered toward the bench.
Excuse me, that first shot did not miss the net, as you saw in our goal cam replays. Our goal cam replays are sponsored by New Trier Hockey Club. Big thank you to them for making sure that's part of the budget. Such an important part of our broadcast here on both SHL Network and Marquee Sports Network, this game being simulcasted.
It was Andrews and Smiley that ended up without their helmets after the scrum. They were both directed straight to the bench. I can't tell if a penalty has been issued, but you'd have to assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, we're going to play 5-on-5 here. I think this is going to be offsetting roughing minors after the whistle.
Yeah, Jack Andrews and Michael Smiley are the two offenders, and they're both sitting the furthest they can on their bench because there's not really a penalty box here at Centennial. But like Wes said, it's going to be 5-on-5. Those penalties are going to offset. I think that's about all you could have done there. It wasn't really a who started it, who was worse situation.
Right.
It was just so physical, you know, a couple of pushes, couple of punches. Each guy gets penalized, we play on.
If they haven't called any penalties yet in this game, they're not going to try and figure out who should get a power play out of that.
Yeah, it felt like no team deserved to get an advantage out of that.
Right. All right, so we play on 5-on-5 in spite of the offsetting minor penalties. 5-on-5 in high school hockey.
I think they got that call right, and of course the Loyola no goal call right. These officials are doing a pretty good job.
It's a high-level game, high-level officiating. Below the goal line, this one sent in front, Jack Wolben. Didn't have anyone there to tap it home. And it comes to the near side where the Ramblers will get this one out of the zone.
Now, I know it's not a power play for either side, but it certainly feels like New Trier is on one.
That'll be called an icing, and New Trier's bench is going palms up, and I think I agree with them. That looked like it was deflected by Wolben.
I thought so too.
But it will result in an offensive zone draw for Loyola. So you look at our quad cam on SHL Network. Both benches, both nets. That's Jimmy the Wiz Olsen at his finest.
Yeah, can't say enough good things about Jimmy the Wiz. Glad he's feeling better as well. A little under the weather last week.
Here's a shot. That one made its way through a maze of bodies and forces a save to be made by Max Reed. Now out to neutral ice. Patrick Dine. Back down into Loyola's end. Wolben battling with Nick Thomas.
Finally
Loyola
a penalty.
Yeah, delayed call here against New Trier Green. With 7:19 to go. Wes, you had a pretty good view of it.
Yeah, it was right in front of me. Isaac Solomon's going to go for two. I can't tell if they called for a hit from behind or just a boarding. But either way, the Rams are going to find themselves in the first power play of the night.
Yeah, elbowing the official call.
Comes at a great time for Loyola, who has been desperate for some offensive action. Getting on the man advantage, they should be able to generate at least a couple of shots on net. potentially reclaim some of the momentum that New Trier has a pretty firm hold of right now.
Loyola on the power play, 21.7%, fourth best in the SHL. Their power play has been 4 for 8 in their last 3 games. So we'll see what they can do here as they try and tie it up. Here's Donato with a shot. That one turned away, near side corner. And New Trier able to send that one out to the neutral zone.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea there from Donato to just throw one on net and get it started that way. New Trier responds well.
Nice move there by Pierce Daverman as he fires it in. Puck being fought for below the goal line, but it's found by New Trier Green. 3 shorthanded goals this season for the Trevians in their 10 games to start the year. That is obviously most in the SHL. But Anthony Donato will come back the other way for Loyola. Already 50 seconds gone by here in the power play. Up to the left circle, firing a shot, Pierce Daverman, and hanging on is Max Reed.
It was a pretty good look there for the Ramblers, putting one on net. But like you said, New Trier has done such an excellent job of clearing the puck immediately after one shot. There's never a rebound. A couple of passes away, and the puck's all the way on the other side of the ice. A minute has gone by, and I believe Loyola only has 1 shot on this power play.
New Trier on the kill, 90%, third best in the SHL. Over their last 5 games, they have not allowed a power play goal, 14 for 14 on the kill, and that includes 3 shorthanded goals, those 3 I mentioned.
Yeah, that goes to show you just how impressive this league is as a whole. 90% is ranked 3rd in the league. That's how good some of these units have been, but New Trier certainly belongs near the top in that conversation.
27 killed on 30 opportunities for the opposition for the Trevians. Down to the left circle, Lochnicki. Man's hitting to the far side corner. Lochnicki gets it back off the side of the cage. Taken by New Trier, and that will be a textbook clear. Charlie Trapp out of his net, settle it down as we get down to 35 seconds to go in the power play.
One last chance here for Loyola to establish a little bit of momentum here on the rush.
Luke Jobert dances around a couple of Trevians at the blue line, and he'll backhand it down. Picked up by New Trier. They try and clear it around the boards, but it hits a stanchion and stays right in the zone. Connor McCauley knocked off the puck just for a moment. Recovered by Julian Gabal. Gabal wanted Lochnicki there. Instead, he'll go to McCauley. McCauley left circle. Fires a shot. Save made by Reed. Penalty is over, and we are back to 5-on-5 play. Loyola goes 0 for 1 on the power play, and New Trier now 15 for their last 15. Isaac Solomon centers it. Here's a quick shot off the stick of Chris Janetsko. And what a save made there by Charlie Trapp with not a lot of time to react.
Yeah, great job by Trapp. That puck was moving. His eyes were moving, and he was able to get the pad in the way.
Now Moreno tried to send it in front for Solomon, but it's backhanded out by Loyola. It will just go far enough. Maybe not. No icing is the call. Solomon as they try and catch him in a change. Here's Moreno, leaves it. Solomon shot it, and the save is made by Trapp. They can't clear it out. Jack Wolben, who scored the OT winner last night, now up for Herstrit. 69 fires, and that one stopped by Trapp.
What a sequence from Charlie Trapp here.
As Jack Herstrit is taken down by Anthony Donato. Quick shot here, deflected by Wolben, and another save made by Loyola's number 1.
New Trier did a really good job trying there to take advantage of the no icing call, but Charlie Trapp stopping everything in his way. What an effort.
Under 6 to go in the second period. Still waiting for the game's second goal. Here's a shot, that one stopped by Reed. And here comes New Trier. Back and forth we go. Big hit into the near side boards by Donato against Wolben.
Beautiful hip check there from Donato. He receives a lot of praise from his coach about how well he defends.
Now here comes a 2-on-0 for New Trier. It's Wolben, centers it, and what a save made by Charlie Trapp.
My God, Charlie Trapp There's a reason they call him the best goalie in the state of Illinois. I have no idea how that puck did not end up in the back of the net, but all I have to say is 2 words: Charlie Trapp.
And guys, there is no question who the #1 star of the game is right now through a period and a half. I mean, right before that outweights Janetsko and makes a great right pad save, and then makes 5 or 6 after that, and then not too often do you have a 2-on-0 coming in at you. And Charlie Trapp just waits out the Trevians again.
Now Knight scores! He found a hole below the glove, and New Trier doubles their lead. And you talk about allowing a goal like that after making a save like that.
Yeah, we just spent the last 2 minutes talking about how good Charlie Trapp is. That one he is certainly going to want back. I think he thought he had it frozen. The puck wasn't done moving. It trickled on in between and got behind the end line. Trapp looks beside himself. And here come some of the Ramblers to say, hey, we've got your back. You've had ours all game. Time for the Loyola offense to respond.
That ref pointed to the goal long before any kind of crowd reaction. So George Knight, well, he heard what you said about Jenner Layden becoming the team leader with 6 goals earlier. He now has his 6, as they are tied for the team lead in goals as it stands now. But New Trier feeling just a little more comfortable now, leading by 2.
New Trier has done such a good job kind of exploiting this long change, making it so difficult for Loyola to get fresh bodies on the ice. That's how they were able to generate the 2-on-0. Then Loyola finally does get fresh bodies on the ice, and New Trier scores right off the draw.
There's a quick shot. That one got blocked off the stick of Luke Jobert. Now right circle. McCauley can't get a shot off. Sent up high. Here's a big slap shot from the right point. Getting in the way was Dane Lohmeyer. Offside on the play. 4:42 to go in the second. Shots on goal now 25-13 in favor of New Trier Green. So 23 saves for Charlie Trapp.
He's made some excellent ones, but that second goal is one when he goes back and watches some of the film from this game is one that he'd like to have back.
Now another odd man rush. Here comes New Trier centering pass, and what a save made by Trapp on Alex Rowan, crashing the net.
Somehow lost his helmet, and it went all the way up against the boards, but Trapp able to make another excellent save to keep the Ramblers in this game. If they had anybody else in the state in between the pipes, this might be 4 or 5-0 right now.
Yeah, Anthony, he took a shot too after he made that save. I couldn't tell if it was Rowan or someone else on that far side, but you can see he's visibly upset as he's talking with his refs as he tries to regain himself before this defensive zone faceoff.
Yeah, it looked like he grabbed his head. I wasn't sure if that was just for protection because he lost the helmet or if maybe he got hit there. But either way, he looks to be all right.
Wes Anderson down at sideline. Anthony Pasquale to my right. My name is Dylan Ward. Happy to have you with us late night on a Thursday for some high school hockey here in Wilmette.
Already almost 10 p.m. and we're not even in the third period.
No, sir. New Trier in the attacking zone. Puck pinned up against the boards. And Anthony Donato will come free with it. Donato, long stretch pass. He wanted Lochnicki, but it doesn't connect. It goes for an icing.
Yeah, you could tell he really wanted to get that stretch pass to Lochnicki, which of course would have created a really good scoring chance for the Ramblers, who desperately need to get back into this.
You heard Sam Schwartz there. York Dukes, St. Viator Lions tied 2-2, second period in the SHL. That one being played at Rosemont Ice Arena, the brand new Nicholas Sportsplex facility. I know our friend Luke Jordan plays his men's league games there, so
shout out Luke.
It's a pretty nice facility. Currently enjoying some Wisconsin Badgers hockey tonight. 3:56 to go in the second period. 2-0 New Trier Green, as the goals have come from Jenner Layden, assisted by George Knight, and George Knight himself, assisted by Alex Rowan.
George Knight certainly making his presence felt out here. Got to give credit where it's due, too. Maxwell Reed in between net for New Trier has not been tested a whole lot, but when he has, he's been up for the challenge.
Shots in this period, 15-8 in favor of New Trier. Another icing and another ozone face-off coming for Loyola.
Which you'd think is the name of the game to create some momentum for Loyola. They get some ozone draws, put some shots on net, try to reclaim some of this momentum, but the New Trier defense has just been so stout. They've been impenetrable, and then they've turned it back and turned it into offense over and over and over again.
Loyola has scored in the second period 6 straight games. Goal differential of 9-3 in the second in their last 3 games. But being outscored 1-0 here in this middle frame. As that one will get enough to be an icing. 3:35 to go in the second.
So close to that tree number that
so
we love.
Close. So close indeed. One of 2 home games in the SHL, played at Centennial Ice Rink for New Trier Green. Talked about it earlier on. They have 3 rinks. 9 of their home games will be played at North Shore Ice Arena and 2 at Winnetka, 2 here. They'll face the Stevenson Patriots here later in the season. Will either team find the back of the net one more time before the Zamboni comes out here?
This is usually about the time in the period where you start to notice some of that snow build up. It changes the way some of the passes and some of these shots travel.
Yeah.
It might even stop one play from being an icing.
Big hit behind the net. New Trier comes back up high with it. Soren Selleck fires a shot in and out of the glove of Trapp. Now Jack Herstrit, right point. He'll send it down low. Picked up below the goal line. Jack Wolben crashes into Patrick Dine.
Like to have another, there you go, another Loyola Rambler down there to try to dig that puck out and help their defenseman.
Solomon centers it. Selleck, all he can do is get it deep. And it's picked up by Mikey Smiley. Missed his man with the pass. And that'll be an icing, another offensive zone faceoff, this time for New Trier Green.
Yeah, a lot of whistles in the back half of this period. We've seen a lot of sloppy passing, specifically from Loyola trying to start their rushes. They've missed on some aggressive opportunities with those stretch passes, and it's turned into some ozone draws for New Trier, and they've been taking advantage of them.
As Poulios battling with Lochnicki before the face-off. This one sent down low. Here's a shot. That one by Poulios, but it wouldn't go. Here's another one from way up high. Stopped by Trapp.
Donato's putting together a really strong defensive shift for the Ramblers.
Both the goals New Trier has scored have been somewhat fluky. Goal's a goal, and they'll take them any way they come. The first one, just an innocent shot from the left circle that deflected off a defender's skate. And then the second one just barely trickled over the line after it looked like it had been stopped by Charlie Trapp. And that's where we stand.
Yeah, neither one feels like New Trier beat Trapp. And obviously he's been so good tonight. But the score is 2-0, however it looks.
Lochnicki can't get it out of the zone. Yang down to the circle, centered it. As Lohmeyer was streaking down low in the slot. Couldn't get a stick to it. 1:30 to go in the second. Long stretch pass waiting at the blue line was Lochnicki, but it's Yang. Gets around one man, nice move, but couldn't get around Donato. Anthony Donato off the far boards. And New Trier right back over the line the other way. Fired down. New Trier wraps it around the boards and just does get it out to neutral ice. They might have a 3-on-2 here. It's Fontana. Left circle, fires a shot. Saved by Trapp. And now out to neutral zone. Jack Blazejowski. Backhand pass, nice reception by Patrick Dine. He looked to center it, but a New Trier body got in the way. Now the Trevians back out through neutral ice. This one, long reach, but picked up by Jenner Layden. Now below the goal line, they score! Puck bounced off the side of the net, and Alex Rowan is there to bury it. 3-0 New Trier.
Really good find there, and Rowan in the right place at the right time to put it in the back of the net. But that's another one that it looked like Trapp thought he had. Once they started celebrating, he turned over his shoulder like, really, that went in? He looked just as surprised as he did on the second goal. Look, he thought he had it, but it squeezed in that space right in between the blocker and the post, and it's 3-0 Trevs.
Certainly 3 goals Charlie Trapp would like to have had back. In spite of facing 29 shots tonight, just 26 saves. Only the second time this season he's allowed 3 or more. And we've still got a full period and change to play.
Another point for Jenner Layden as well on that one.
Now here comes New Trier once again. Herstrit leaves it. Here's a shot. Looking for a tip by Herstrit, but they're unable to get it. 6.6 on the clock before the second period intermission.
And guys, it's such a backbreaker for the Ramblers, thinking you could take that 2-goal deficit into the break, just survive until you can catch your breath there at intermission. And as you mentioned, just a little bit of a leaky goal there by Charlie Trapp, definitely one that you expect or think you would want to have back.
Yeah, and it's a hard pill to swallow, because coming back from down 3, albeit New Trier did do that yesterday, it's a very daunting task against New Trier.
Herstrit with 3 seconds left centers it, and somehow it's not 4. Isaac Solomon is stopped by Charlie Trapp, who makes one more with the blocker at the very end. And that'll send these teams into the locker room with a 3-0 lead for New Trier.
Yeah, what a save from Trapp to keep it at 3, but I mean, you can't talk enough about the effort from Charlie Trapp. If it was not him in net, this game could be a lot uglier. I'm anxious to see the type of offense that Scott Serralo is going to try to draw up in the intermission to get some goals in the back of the net for the Ramblers.
So we will take a timeout between the 2 periods. Don't go anywhere. The third is coming right up, and stick around as Anthony and I will discuss the first 2 periods. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Marquee Sports Network. Dylan Ward, Anthony Pasquale, and Wes Anderson here with you. It was an eventful first 2 periods. New Trier scores 2 goals late in the frame to extend their lead to 3. Guys, what did we think of those first 34 minutes?
It's kind of weird to explain, because part of me wants to say the types of goals that were scored were not indicative of how good Charlie Trapp has been. But when you look at the shots on goal disparity and how long that New Trier was in the offensive zone, being up by 3 feels pretty good for New Trier.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're a Loyola, you're almost glad that it's just that. Charlie Trapp made 3 or 4 huge saves there in that second frame, particularly going from his right to his left there. And if not for that, it could be 5-6 nothing in favor of the Trevians there. So if that, you're just lucky to be down 3. And Dylan, you mentioned it too. This Trevians team was down 3 heading into the third frame last night against the Glenbrook North Spartans. They were able to pull that out in overtime last night. So that's definitely fresh on their mind, fresh on Loyola's mind, hoping for them to come back. The opposite side of the Trevians are looking to close things out.
Wes, they were down 4-1 with 11 minutes left and came away with the victory. Obviously, a different story tonight. New Trier has the lead. Loyola, in their 8 SHL games so far, has only lost in regulation on 1 occasion. They had a late comeback against the Lake Forest Scouts that they ended up losing in a shootout. They also lost in a shootout to the York Dukes, where the Dukes came back with 2 in the third period to tie that game up. But just in general, for both these teams, you know, for Loyola, what is being said in the locker room right now? It's a big game, big crowd, intimidating crowd on one side. You know, it's hard to keep your cool.
Yeah, right now you're just looking to get that next goal, right? And you're 1 shot away from making a 2-goal game. You're 2 shots away from making a 1-goal game, right? So you got to take a deep breath. You're obviously a little rattled, as we mentioned earlier, giving up that third goal with about, 40 seconds left in that second period. You're kind of on edge there. So now that you got this intermission to catch your breath, you're just looking to get that next goal and then right from there.
Yeah, and for me, one of the biggest things for Loyola is they've kind of gifted New Trier a little bit of momentum because they've been so aggressive with those stretch passes, but they haven't connected on a single one of them, which has turned into icing, which has turned into ozone draws for New Trier, and they've just dominated the possession over and over and over again. That's kind of been the story of the first 2 periods for me. New Trier's had the puck the entire time. Loyola is going to have to try to sharpen up some of those exit and entry passes if they want to get back into this one.
Shots on goal here through 2 periods. We wait for it to show up here on our scorecard, but it was 15-5 at one point in that second period. Shots on goal are 32-14, 21-9 in the second period for the Trevians. But a lot of game left. Third period goal differential of 7-1 in New Trier's last 2 games, 11-2 in their last 5. And Loyola's been struggling in the third period, only 1 goal in their last 4 games and 4 allowed, so an average of 1 per. We'll see how they respond here in the third period.
Yeah, we're going to be asking for some of those trends to switch the other way if Loyola wants to come back and, A, make this a game and B, win this thing. So those are 2 things to certainly keep an eye on. New Trier's been excellent here in third periods, and Loyola has struggled as of late.
Yeah, Anthony, that's a great point. New Trier 6-0 and taking the lead into the third period there. So, as you mentioned, if things are going to change, if trends are going to kind of go the opposite way of the norm here, the Loyola is going to have to get things going in a hurry.
All right, well, the third period is just a few minutes away. Don't go anywhere. We're on Marquee Sports Network bringing you the action here in Wilmette, Illinois. From Centennial Ice Rink, Dylan Ward, Anthony Pasquale, and Wes Anderson with you, and we will be back with you shortly. Welcome back to Marquee Sports Network. Dylan Ward with Anthony Pasquale and Wes Anderson down at the sideline level. 1 period to go between New Trier and Loyola. Biggest rivalry in the state, some would argue. And New Trier has been dominant, outshooting the Ramblers 31-16 and outscoring them 3-0.
Yeah, it's been all Trevians as of late, and the way that they've just been able to control the puck has been extremely impressive to watch. We've seen them go coast to coast pretty much 17 minutes each period of puck control. For Loyola, it's about responding. They're going to need to put some shots on net, going to need to find some of those to the back of the net. They're relying heavily on Charlie Trapp, but it's time for that offense to take over.
Well, Loyola has taken the ice. New Trier will join them in just a few moments. And we're just moments away from sending it down to Wes Anderson, who's standing by with head coach of New Trier, Adam Charis.
Thanks, guys. Coach Max Reed gave up 4 goals last night to the Spartans. So far through 2 periods is perfect. How have you liked as he responded here tonight?
Well, that's what we expected out of him. He's a gamer. He's very talented, one of the most technical goalies I've seen. Expected this kind of rebound from him. He's his own biggest critic. Like, he'll tell me after the game, I blew this one, I blew that one. I'm saying, just have some fun, bud.
And now we joked about it just now. You guys were down 3 goals going into the third period last night. Now you're up 3 goals in this one. How do you close this one out tonight?
Yeah, well, that was the message in the locker room. You know, quick turnaround. We were down 3 last night. We turned it on, found a way to win. You know, let's remember that. They can do the same thing. We got to take it seriously. Every single shift, 110%.
All right, good luck in the third,
All right,
Coach.
thanks, Wes.
Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Wes. The goals tonight so far from Alex Rowean, that most recent one, George Knight, and Jenner Layden. 17 fresh minutes on the clock on a fresh sheet of ice as well.
A very hoarse Adam Charis giving some words to Wes Anderson. I'd imagine a lot of these students in here are pretty hoarse as well, but for Loyola, I'm very interested to see how they respond here in this third period. It's been all Trevian so far. And it looks like in street clothes walking back to the bench is Keegan Rowean. He's got a bit of a limp. He suffered a lower body injury back in the first period, returned briefly in the second period before exiting the ice. Now he's back in street clothes and back on the bench for the Trevians as they try to close this one out.
So we're back to our first period shooting sides. The third period of play is sponsored by Glenbrook North Hockey here on the SHL Network and Marquee Sports Network. Happy you found your way to this broadcast from wherever in the world you may be watching, on whatever platform you may be watching. Dylan Ward, Anthony Pasquale, and Wes Anderson with you, alongside Matt Freeman, our camera operator, and Jimmy the Wiz Olsen, assisted by Gerard Boris, our 2 technical engineers. New Trier in black, debuting this jersey for the first time. They'll go from right to left on your screen. And Loyola in gold from left to right.
I know a lot of times you see with these new jerseys, if you don't win that first game in the new jerseys, you might be a little bit more hesitant to break them out for the rest of the season. So New Trier's trying to make sure that stays in the kit if they close this one out.
George Knight, one of the goal scorers for the Trevians, takes the opening faceoff of the third period. And we are underway. A quick icing, at least Charlie Trapp thought it was going to be called that way. It is not, and we will play on. All 3 of New Trier's goals have been ones Charlie Trapp would have liked to have back. As this shot by Jobert is stopped by Reed, and he swipes it to the near side corner.
Yeah, and when you think about some of the saves that Trapp made, the ones that went in, you wouldn't believe it.
Now Nagets backhands it out to the neutral zone. Sent back across the line, but off a skate of a Rambler who was coming back to tag up, so that'll result in an offside.
I will say, too, in that second period, Loyola abandoned the physicality a little bit, and that was kind of when New Trier really started to grab all that momentum. You already saw Jobert get a little bit involved physically to start this third period. I think if they want to get back into this game, they cannot abandon their physical play.
Puck falls. It's backhanded in by Loyola. Right on Max Reed. They'll count it as a shot on goal. Here's one shot from in close. Reed able to catch that one like an outfielder, and our second whistle here less than a minute into the third.
Good news for Loyola is most of this third period, obviously only 48 seconds in, most of this third period has been played down to our right, which means in the New Trier defensive zone or the Loyola O zone, whichever you prefer. that's the way it needs to be if Loyola wants to come back.
A goal differential of -3 for Loyola in the third period across their last 4 games. Just 1 scored, 4 allowed. As for New Trier, a goal differential of 7-1 across their last 2 games in the third period. 11-2 in their last 5. Whatever the stats tell you, you could basically throw everything I'm saying out the window when these two teams play. Yes, it's a cliche, but yes, it's very true. This one stolen by the Ramblers, sent in front. Unable to get a clean shot was Pierce Daverman. Now Lochnicki tries to get it back to Daverman, and he could not. Tapping his stick in the slot, wanting the puck is Max Kading, but it's taken back by the Trevians. Jack Wolben centered it. Pulling ahead and getting a shot off is J.P. Wilson, but the save is made by Charlie Trapp.
Loyola had a few good looks there, just weren't able to get their pucks on their sticks, but more of that should be good for Loyola.
Onside as they come across the line. Chris Gall. Big hit there by Charlie Cannon against Julian Gabal, the 4-year varsity skater for the Ramblers. They continue to battle for a puck that's been stuck in that near side corner for quite a while. It pops free to the far side corner.
Yeah, see, for Loyola, this physicality is how they extend their possessions.
As this one's poked ahead, Dane Lohmeyer. Partial break as he picks up the speed. Couldn't get a shot off, but does draw a penalty. Delayed call as Breed sprints to the bench, but a quick possession by Loyola. And it'll be New Trier going to the power play for the first time in this game.
And they already have such a dangerous power play unit, a unit that they are very confident in. A little bit bumpy to start the season, but a unit that Coach Jarris expects to be one of the best in the state of Illinois. So if you're Loyola, you're going to need to kill this and kill this quickly. Otherwise, you could be staring 4-0 right in the face.
33% on the power play. Can you believe that's second best in the SHL? Lake Forest, 41%, and they're over halfway through their schedule, so it's not an early season fluke. But New Trier, with that great power play, they did go 0 for 2 last game against GBN with a shorthanded goal allowed. As for Loyola, their PK was 2 for 2 last game after 3 straight with a power play goal against. Does Lake Forest have a shorty in them? They've got 1 on the season. Looking for another. Donato couldn't get that shot off. Max Kading, the goal scorer.
Got to be careful when you leave 2 Ramblers down in the offensive end. Somebody's got to be there defensively.
What a move there by Jack Wolben. Looked like one of their new players. The first player in 7 years to jump from JV to Loyola Gold, skipping Loyola Maroon, Tommy Tingle. How do you like that name, Anthony?
Yeah, it's another good one here, and he's somebody that we expected to hear a lot and see a lot of tonight. Just a guy that has so much speed, which is pretty in line with this entire Ramblers team. But Tingle, we haven't seen him on the ice too much tonight. I wonder if he gets involved more here in the third.
12:19 to go in regulation time. Loyola needs 3 goals as it stands to tie this game up. As an intimidating blackout New Trier crowd watches on. Face off at the right circle, Trevian attacking zone. Aristotle Poulios is ready for the draw against Connor McCauley. McCauley wins it to the near side for Jobert. Luke Jobert got it back for McCauley, trying to split a couple defenders, but Chase Moreno tries to get it out, and they eventually will bring it out. Charlie Cannon over the line, right wing side. Looked for a deflection as that was a shot pass. Now below the goal line. Right circle, fired. Stopped by Trapp. The power play has come to an end. There's a shot. That didn't miss the top right corner by much. And now Loyola cleanly will get it out. Swooping in there. Nice back check by Soren Selig to prevent a clean zone entry for the Ramblers. Blazejowski, now McCauley, look to tip it, but it goes right to the stick of Moreno, who fires it in.
It's a good idea, but the Trevians just step ahead as it seems they've been all night long.
Jack Wolben Over the line, he's tripped up. And how is that not called a penalty? We play on.
It's about as textbook as you can get there. The stick went in between both skates, end up with a player on the ice. It's usually what they look for, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, Anthony, that's as down to the rule book as you can get right there. But it seemed to start the period here that the Ramblers had all types of momentum in their favor. And ever since they took that penalty, that has gone the complete opposite way. And then the Trevians have been in control since.
11-12 to go, third period.
Yeah, I think for Loyola, if they really wanted to come back here, they needed to get that quick goal in the third. So far, they haven't gotten it. We'll see if that continues.
Linesman gets in the way as they are able to send it out to the neutral zone. The smothering defense of New Trier has a big hit right by one of our ambient mics near side.
That was great. That's what it's there for.
Oh, yeah. Now Donato delayed offside. They'll have to tag back up. And Jack Herstrick gets around a few defenders. It's left and backhanded back in by Loyola.
A few different Loyola Ramblers wipe out in the neutral zone. I think that's the third or fourth time we've seen that happen so far in the third.
Icing called there with 10.5 to go in the third. I want to thank our sponsors, CCTY Bearing, Acros, Glenbrook North Hockey, York Hockey, Loyola Academy Hockey, and New Trier Hockey. Big thank you to our sponsors to make these broadcasts possible, not only on SHL Network, but on Marquee Sports Network.
The goalie cams, the post-game interviews, everything that we do here would not be done without our sponsors, so a big thank you to them for making what we do possible. We're super grateful for the opportunity to bring you guys some excellent youth hockey.
On the same stage as the Chicago Cubs, no less.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool indeed. It's got to be cool for these kids as well. Now Lohmeyer backhands one on Trapp. He's able to make the save with ease as he covers up.
We kind of talked about that notion in that first game with New Trier Blue, I believe it was, against Chicago North. Just being on that stage, especially this early in the season, is such a cool thing for these students to be able to get. But when you have two teams like this that are kind of used to the stage, it just kicks everything up a notch.
A lot of Loyola students have left the building as their student section dwindles down.
Hey, they do have school tomorrow.
We did figure that out. 10:25 p.m. here in Wilmette on a Thursday night. So glad you can stay up with us. Maybe we have some people tuning in after the Hawks game. They just lost 6-3.
Hard to not root for Taves.
What a move by Lohmeyer. Fires a shot. And Trapp makes the save as he dangled between a couple defenders. And now more commotion.
Try not to take away from the save from Charlie Trapp. Here's a great look at it in alone, and Trapp able to gobble that up.
We're down to 9:31 here in the third period.
Looks so far like no penalty after that scrum.
Well, they're really letting them play tonight, guys.
I don't hate that call. I think especially in rivalries, you don't like to have the officials play too much of a role. But like you said, this game certainly has been called a little bit loosely than we're maybe used to.
George Knight against Connor McCauley at the face-off circle, right side. Attacking zone for New Trier. Drop of the puck is won cleanly by the Trevians. In the slot, they're able to get one off, but it missed the net and goes behind the cage. Loyola's got to act fast if they want any chance of tying this one up. Boy, guys, did New Trier come to play tonight or what?
Yeah, they really expelled all the notions that they may be a little tired after last night's performance, the emotional late win in overtime over Glenbrook North.
Now McCauley centers it just out of the wheelhouse of Jobert.
And they have a big weekend coming up as well. I believe they said Viator on Saturday and Iggy on Sunday.
Ignatius on Saturday and Glenbrook South.
That's right.
On Sunday. So this is the second time this month, guys, that New Trier has been in a stretch of 4 games in 5 nights.
Yeah, and you talk about the response from last night, 38 shots, and we're not even halfway through this third period, and the majority of those coming there in the second when they got their 2 goals. So the Trevians are able to respond very quickly on short rest here against a great Loyola Rambler team.
They'll have tomorrow off. Tomorrow is, of course, Halloween. Happy Halloween from wherever you may be celebrating. Anthony, what are you going as?
My brother and I might be doing the Wedding Crashers.
Might be, huh?
Or I'll just throw on a red jacket and do Anchorman.
Anchorman? Okay, I
got
like
a
it.
little game time decision up there.
Yeah, it depends if I want to shave or not, and I might keep the stash for a little longer.
My girlfriend and I are going as each other, so she's got that whole thing planned out. We'll see what comes of that.
You're going to have to give her that jacket.
There might not be an Instagram post for Halloween this year. As this one's shot on Reed, he makes the save.
I can't wait for the next whistle to find out what Wes is going to be.
Yeah, I have a feeling his is long planned out, no game time decision for him. He's a very responsible man. Now Herstrit down the left wing side, look to center it, but Donato's stick gets in the way.
Loyola has to act fast. It needs to come soon.
They stay on side. Gabal lets one go. Stopped by Reed. All right, Wes, you're on the spot.
Yeah, I'm just going as an astronaut, just keeping it pretty simple.
Okay.
This year, one of my good friends, she always has a good costume party, so that's where my festivities will be taking me tomorrow night.
I mean, I could always just throw on a jersey and eye black. I think that's what I went to every year in school.
Yeah, I've gone as a hockey player, I think,
Sure.
more than half of my life, so I think I have to cut that one out of the rotation.
Got a buddy that goes every year as a pedestrian. Here's a shot, that one just wide, no deflection. Now to the left point. Here's one fired, took a deflection on its way, but kicked away by Reed. Now Chris Janetsko over the line, left wing side, lets one go, and that looked good off the stick.
Yeah, it did. Everything looks good until it gets right near number 1. Charlie Trapp, another excellent save. It's not a game that is going to be remembered for him as it stands right now, down 3-0, but he has made some star-studded saves tonight that has kept Loyola in this game and kept some momentum on their side.
Shots on goal, 39-20 in favor of New Trier.
This is right around what New Trier averages in terms of shots on goal allowed per game. So Loyola might have a chance to actually beat that average despite getting shut out.
Here in the third period, Loyola 6, New Trier 7. Way offside. They'll have to tag up, and that allows the Trevians to regain the puck. Nolan Nagitz to the blue line. Dane Lohmeyer couldn't get around one man. And a penalty's called as the Loyola player is taken down. Delayed call will send the Ramblers to the power play as Max Reed covers that one up. And some more commotion as one of the New Trier players launches a glove in maroon and gold.
Yeah, you want to still be disciplined here if you're the Trevians. I know you're going to go down here to the penalty kill, but you don't want to make that a 5-on-3 and give these Ramblers any type of momentum here as this period starts to end.
Yeah, it's a good point, Wes. I think if Loyola is going to make a move, special teams are going to have to play a factor. So the more discipline that New Trier can play down the stretch just makes it more likely that they win this game.
So power play awaits the Loyola Ramblers, 0 for 1 in this game. And if there's any sliver of hope for them to come back, this is a great spot to be in.
Absolutely. Grab some momentum here on the man advantage, put one in the back of the net. And then, like Wes was saying in the intermission, then you're one shot away from making it a 1-goal game.
Faceoff is won cleanly by New Trier. That's a good way to start the PK as it's unable to be held in by Connor McCauley at the blue line and chased back down by Loyola. An unforced clear there by the Ramblers. This is Jack Blazejowski. The big guns are out for Scott Serralo and company.
Time for them to show up.
Blazejowski takes a shot. That one stopped by Reed. Now behind the net, centered in front, in the slot. This is Max Kading, and now here's a shot. That one stopped by Reed. Rebound puck just sitting there, and it's swiped away. Somehow Moreno found it and is able to clear it.
Great job from Moreno, just not carrying the bodies that are in front, just finding the biscuit and swiping it across the ice.
We're down to 1:12 to go in the Loyola power play. Anthony Donato into the zone, lets one fly, goes wide, maybe a partial block in close. Now Kading, back below the line, Nick Thomas, and it's cleared immediately by Sorensella.
This unit is just so good for New Trier. Loyola gets about one good look at it before New Trier clears it down the other way.
My dad would always say when the Hawks were playing the Oilers, he'd actually not want a penalty to be called against the Oilers because he said that Gretzky was just going to score shorthanded. Here's a quick shot and then another one. Both stopped by Reed. Now back up high, Donato takes a shot blocked and cleared by Rowan.
Rowan does a great job of finding that puck after a carom and sending it back the other way. Loyola with one more rush to really grab some momentum here as time is winding out.
Patrick Dine now to the blue line, tipped into the zone. Luke Jobert, but it's cleared again by New Trier. And the fans here to our right are starting to get frustrated as they have not been able to celebrate a goal so far here. Mikey Smiley sends it down. And it's picked up by Jack Herstrit, who with help from a Loyola stick will clear it out. Chasing after it is Dane Lohmeyer. He's got a breakaway. Backhander just missed the net. He had Charlie Trapp down and out, but could not bury it just as the penalty expired.
That was such a good move. Just couldn't finish it at the other end. Not too often you get Charlie Trapp off balance like that. So that's almost a win in and of itself. There's another look at some of the chances on that Loyola power play. Here it is. Went to the backhand and just flipped it a little bit wide. Had him beat, though.
Both teams still have their timeout. 4:42 to go in the third. 3-0 New Trier Green. The goals from Jenner Layden, George Knight, and Alex Rowan. In that order. Face-off win for the Trevs. Here's a shot that gets blocked in close. As it's tried to be poked ahead. Now a New Trier player takes down a Rambler. It's going to be another power play. Delayed penalty, as it'll be touched up by Herstrit here. 4:28 to go. Not over yet. Interference will be the call. And Loyola will get another chance.
Yeah, they just had to call that one. I mean, it was right in front of the official. It stopped a potential scoring opportunity for Loyola. So let's see if they can take advantage of this power play once more. They're 0 for 2 tonight. Looking to change their fortune.
Not a lot of teams will pull their goalie down by 3. Maybe Loyola does here to get a 6-on-4.
Yeah, I don't hate that idea. It looks like Trapp is firmly between the pipes right now, but we'll see if that changes.
4:28 to go here in the third. Loyola wins the face-off. It's Donato getting it down low. Nobody there to pick it up. Nick Thomas, the closest skater wearing gold. Nearly all the Loyola students have exited the building. Being battled for, more time gets killed away in terms of New Trier's perspective. And now they're able to send it the entire length. Max Reed, 23 saves so far. Shots on goal 39-23 in favor of the Trevians. So Charlie Trapp has had quite a few as well. This one thrown into the blue paint. Nobody there to get a deflection on it with a forehand. Now up to the point. It's grabbed and cleared out with a backhand. Just missed Jenner Layden as Blazejowski gets a stick in there. Otherwise, Layden would have been gone. Still in his net is Trapp. Donato, near side corner. He's shoved off the puck by Selleck. And now New Trier will clear again, not all the way.
Trapp was beginning to leave the net before. Now here he comes off. It'll be 6-on-4.
6-on-4 for 40 seconds. New Trier is able to ice it freely and crack at the empty net, but this one deflects right to Moreno somehow, and he taps it home. What a fortuitous bounce for New Trier.
Yeah, I don't love the idea of pulling Trapp and then immediately dumping it in and giving possession back to New Trier. They were able to turn that up the other way too quickly, and Loyola was never really able to take advantage of having the two-man advantage. Instead, it goes right to the stick of Moreno, and he's able to tap it in for an easy fourth goal, and they're up 4-0.
minutes left. It'll go in the book as a shorthanded goal, even though it was an empty netter. So the Trevians now have 4 shorties in their last 6 games. Not to mention a PK of 17 for 17 in those last 6. Still technically on a power play is Loyola. Here's a steal by Connor McCauley. Backhand shot. What a save made by Reed. Playing the full 51 minutes clearly.
We got a little bit more extracurriculars. Joe Bear involved with Nuggets.
Wes, what's going through the mind of Max Reed right now, playing in his first Loyola New Trier game at any level and hasn't allowed a goal yet?
Well, there's an S word that we're not going to say. That's definitely on his mind, and hasn't been tested a lot, but when he has, he's been stellar so far.
Loyola wins this face-off to the near side. It's Tommy Tingle down to McCauley. Now here's a shot. Save made by Reed. And the puck loose. It's grabbed by Nolan Nuggets.
Thank God West did not say that S word.
Penalty coming up as Loyola touches up. And this one's going to go against them and give New Trier power play. And if there was any sliver of doubt, that should just about do it.
Yeah, that basically wraps this one up for all intents and purposes, putting New Trier on the man advantage, which will take it all the way down to 25 seconds left or put a 5th goal up there. Unless Loyola has some late-game short-handed heroics, New Trier is going to come out on top and win their 11th game of the early season.
We thank you for joining us for this one here on Marquee Sports Network. Don't go anywhere. We've got an interview coming up with a player from the winning team. It'll be Wes Anderson down at sideline level.
Couple of good options. There's 3 players with 2 points tonight. Marino, Knight, and Layden. And of course, Reed. Stellar in between the pipes. Big goose egg up on the board right now for the Ramblers.
A little bit of a delay here before the power play begins. As the officials make sure that Henry Hoffman is indeed in the penalty box. Slashing the call. And we'll see if New Trier can get a running clock on these guys. Big hit at the blue line. Probably could have been a penalty, but won't be. Jack Wolben up to the right circle. Down to the slot. Trying to throw a backhander on net was Knight. Now up to Jack Herstritt. Switched his number 13 for the number 69 here for this one. Below the goal line, Moreno plays it to the far side corner. Jack Wolben takes a hit as it's sent back up to the right point. Here's a shot deflected and wide of the net. Out to neutral ice it goes. And New Trier will set back up. Jack Herstritt gains some speed. He dumps it in, then takes a hit.
Herstritt got clobbered there on the far side.
Right by the penalty boxes.
Yeah, that's the one thing it looks like Loyola is not going to let go. They're going to keep hitting until the final whistle. They might not be able to score, but they might make sure you wake up with a couple of bruises tomorrow for school.
Cross to the right side. And Sam Schwartz just moments away from letting the crowd know how much time is left in the third.
Nice job.
Now Loyola trying to clear it out. They cannot.
A lot of stick fighting down low.
42 seconds left. Right corner. Sent up high. Chris Cox. Excuse me, that was Dominic Fontana as that puck deflects up and out of play as we get what could be our final whistle with 31.2.
Seems like Maxwell Reed is starting to smell it now as he skates around his net. closing in. Only 31.2 left on the clock. 6 seconds left on the man advantage. 4-0 Trevians as they close in on their 8th win of the year.
Head coach Adam Charis has coached this New Trier team to 3 consecutive state championships. And he's going to make it a 10-3 career record against his team's most hated rival.
Which is really so impressive when you think about how good Loyola has been.
Jenner Layden, George Knight, Alex Rowian, and Chase Moreno into an empty net, accompanied by 26 saves by Max Reed as he gets the shutout in his first career game against Loyola Gold.
Yeah, what a performance from Reed. What a performance by the Trevians. You hate to say it in a game so highly contested. Wow, they're not even going to let him shake hands.
They wanted to go to the student section. They'll shake hands after the season series is done.
They're going to have to stop right at that red line. And they'll celebrate toward their all-black student section as they are 1-0 in their brand new black jerseys. What an effort from
waiting.
Charlie Trapp tonight.
They're waiting until they get the nod to go over there. Some handshakes afterwards, but those students wearing all black are waiting for the moment. And before that happens, we will send it down to Wes Anderson, who is standing by with the goaltender himself, Max Reed. Go ahead, Wes.
Thanks, guys. Max, you gave up 4 goals last night. You guys were able to come out with the win. How did you reset tonight? You had 26 shots against, 26 saves. How were you just able to reset and refocus for your game tonight?
I don't think it was really about resetting. I think it was just my defense playing great in front of me. I didn't do much for that shutout. It was all the defense.
Now, you're the first goalie not named Wyatt Schmidt or Drew Dirtoff to play against Loyola Gold here on this ice. Did you have to prepare any differently knowing this was a big rivalry game?
No, I just tried to treat it like every other game and hope that the outcome would be the same, and it was. So the boys played great. That hell of a game by the kids.
All right, go enjoy it with your teammates.
Thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Wes. That'll do it from us from Centennial Ice Rink in Wilmette, Illinois, here on Marquee Sports Network. As a matter of fact, we are going to send it to a break just one last time. Don't go anywhere. We'll wrap things up in just a moment.
Correction, 5-2 and 2. At 12 points in 9 games. 5th place in the SHL.
Welcome back to Centennial Ice Rink here in Wilmette, Illinois on Marquee Sports Network. You all and everyone here at the rink just witnessed New Trier beat Loyola by a final score of 4-0, including an empty netter, also technically a shorthanded goal, but this is a big rivalry in the state of Illinois, and the cliche is very true. You could throw out the stat sheets when these two teams played, but Loyola gets just their 2nd regulation loss of the season, and New Trier has really set the tone for the remaining 2 games in the regular year.
Yeah, without a doubt. If you look at this score, you'd probably think Charlie Trapp did not turn in his best effort in between the pipes, but he was sensational. He kept Loyola in this. He made a few glove saves that I don't even understand how he made, and I watched him with my own 2 eyes. He was great. It was just the Loyola offense could not muster up anything. The New Trier defense was stifling. They were able to put some pucks in the back of the net themselves, take advantage of some good bounces, and then, of course, Max Reed pitches a shutout in the net for the Trevians. Just an all-around great effort for New Trier, and they come away with another rivalry win.
Final shots on goal in the game, 40-26 in favor of New Trier. So Max Reed, 26 for 26, of course. For our entire crew here today, Matt Freeman on camera, Gerard Boris and Jimmy the Wiz Olsen, both of our technical engineers, alongside Wes Anderson down at sideline, Anthony Pasquale to my right. My name is Dylan Ward, saying thank you for hanging out with us here on this Thursday night. The final score once more, New Trier 4 and Loyola 0. New Trier only has 1 regulation loss in their last 7 games as they look to stay hot here in the SHL. Happy Halloween, everybody, and have a great rest of your weekend.